Local news, sports, talk, and community connection for the North Bay.
When news breaks or emergencies occur, tune us right in.
The Vine at 99.3 FM.
And to get posted updates on emergency situations, follow us on Facebook.
For podcast and broadcasting schedules, go to our website.
99.3 The Vine is owned and operated locally by Wind-Down Media.
I'm Barry Martin, and we have another of our Firewise Friday segments for you today. And we're going to learn the latest from the group that's working on wildfire prevention. Joe Nordlinger is back with us. He's the CEO of Napa Firewise. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry. Thanks.
And joining us also is Melanie Parker, who's now the CEO of the Napa County Land Trust, and recently in that job.
Yes, just started a couple months ago.
Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Let's get started. You two were telling me off the air you guys could complete each other's sentences talking about the partnership between the Land Trust and Firewise right now. Joe, give us a quick setup on this.
Yeah, so about a year or so back, the Napa Firewise and the Land Trust started chatting about pursuing jointly an initiative, a citizens initiative, to drive really comprehensive wildfire resilience, watershed resilience, and the resilience of protected lands here in the county. Firewise knew that we were going to be pursuing something as a redo on what was Measure L, and the Land Trust similarly was going to pursue open space funding. And in the course of our conversations, it just became clear that there was immense synergy between what we're focused on and what the Land Trust is focused on and Open Space District is focused on. And so we decided that it made a lot of sense for us to sort of lock arms and pursue this initiative together.
And what's happening right now is there's a signature collection process going on to put something on the ballot.
Correct.
And this is about funding, long-term funding for these fire prevention efforts?
Yeah, it's durable funding to support really three broad elements of resilience for the county. So one is wildfire resilience, the other is watershed resilience, and the third is really the resilience of protected lands. And those protected lands include open space district lands, potentially land trust lands, watersheds that are owned by the cities, et cetera. So all of these areas require work and sort of active stewardship, and in some cases, acquisition of new lands. And so this initiative is really aimed at providing durable funding to support those activities.
This, Melanie, I'll toss you a tough question here right off the bat. Economic conditions being what they are, any kind of a ballot proposal locally, statewide, that has money connected to it, I would think of it being an uphill battle right now. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think the thing listeners need to understand is that passing a local initiative actually gets us more money. So we're one of the only counties in the Bay Area that doesn't currently have dedicated funding for open space protection, this kind of work. And when you have that, and I can speak from experience because I've just recently migrated from Sonoma County where we had that, you actually are more competitive for state and federal grants. And so this is the kind of thing where we put a little bit in as local residents and we get a lot return for it.
You actually anticipated my next question, which was where is the state and federal money in this picture?
Well, as we all know, it's more uncertain than certain these days. So that's another reason to have, like Joe said, long-term durable funding that is under our local control. So, we don't have control of state government or federal government. We do have control of the money that we provide to ourselves.
It's a really important point. There's, we've been successful at raising grants, as has the Land Trust and Open Space District. But when we look out downrange around the availability of that fund, doesn't look promising. And really, we're less competitive, to Melanie's point. A lot of these projects are now in maintenance mode, and it's very hard to get grant funding for maintenance. And we're also less competitive if we can't point to local match, which is what Melanie was talking about. So it's critical for us to continue to unlock those grant funds.
This is being called the Napa County Wildfire Preparedness, Watershed Protection, and Open Space Preservation Act of 2026. This would be on the November ballot?
Correct.
That's the goal?
That's the goal.
So, again, people are doing the signature collection now to try and get it there. Talk to us a little bit about what you would do with this money if it passes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went out last year and polled on this, and it polled very well in cities and rural areas. We've spent some time on the Firewise side. We've spent some time now, last 6 years, really working closely with a lot of cities and communities around the county to develop very detailed community wildfire protection plans. These were developed with citizens, agencies, fire officials, and each one is a roadmap of critical projects that need to be done to improve wildfire resilience. So on the fire side, and I'll let Melanie speak to sort of the open space side, on the fire side, the measure has a very detailed expenditure plan, and it enumerates all of these projects that were developed by citizens, by fire officials at the city level, at the county level, to reduce the risk of wildfire. And so the money that will be generated for wildfire resilience has to be spent on these critical projects. They include things like forest health, fuel reduction, many of these things beneficial for watershed improvement, and supporting fire safe councils, critical fire line maintenance, helping landowners to do more defensible space work, et cetera.
Talk about the land trust side of it.
Yeah, I mean, all of that, everything that Joe said, is relevant on our side of the equation. And the citizens of Napa have long anticipated and wanted a fully funded Parks and Open Space District. And so this will fund our Parks and Open Space District. And that means that together with the Land Trust and others, we can create parks and trails that are more accessible to the cities, to folks in communities. And then with the overlay of good stewardship, those parks become buffer zones, really, for the cities in fire events. And so those are projects that we haven't been able to do to date because the Open Space District isn't fully funded, but this would make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And in the modern world, with the increased fire danger that we've all experienced, I assume all these land trust properties there's an agreement that this kind of work can take place, that you can do the wildfire mitigation rather than, I've seen in some places, not necessarily in California, but where someone will say, this piece of land is great because it backs right up to the national forest. Yeah. And when you look at the national forest, nobody's maintaining anything there, right? So those are low fire danger places. Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to speak to that because I love this example that I bring from Sonoma County, where we worked on a particular park outside of Windsor, just right out in town where everybody walks their dogs after work, Foothill Regional Park, and worked with our Cal Fire and Windsor Fire folks, and we treated that landscape, restored the forest, and then when the Kincaid fire was blowing into the town of Windsor and everyone predicted Windsor was going to burn down, it was because of that park that firefighters were able to operate, backburn, and protect the town. And that's the kind of work that really excites me to bring here to Napa County.
Very good. Practical question, has there been any polling on the local willingness to fund this?
Yeah, so we polled last year on this issue, and the polling revealed, overwhelmingly 60 plus, 62, 63% support for an initiative. And, you have to go through the pros and the cons, but in the end, it was 60 plus % that supported the initiative. And that's not dissimilar from polls that we've seen with the previous measures. So we know that wildfire is a top concern, protection of water resources is a top concern, and for city dwellers and county rural dwellers, they're interested in places to go enjoy and recreate, with open space and parks, et cetera. So it's very clear that both in the city and the rural areas, this is an important and potent issue that people are interested in. We'll continue to poll on this as we move forward, but we're confident that the citizens believe in this. And
what kind of margin does it need?
So this is a citizens initiative which requires a 50% plus one. So I think we have a healthy margin there, but we'd take nothing for granted. We know our job is to go out and educate city and rural landowners and residents about the importance of this work. And we're going to be out there. We're looking for volunteers to help with the campaign. We're looking for folks who are endorsing. We're building a growing list of endorsements for the campaign. And so while we need 50% plus one, we understand that we have work to do to go out and work with voters to understand it.
Would we find information about this on your respective websites?
On the website, we also have a website for the campaign, which is called SaferResilientNapa.org. We happy to provide that information with you as well. I'm going to double check that, but.
That's right.
Yeah. saferresilientnapa.org.
Got it. And we'll be hearing a lot more about this, I assume, over the months to come.
Absolutely. And there's been some good write-ups in the Register and the Press Democrat, et cetera. So we have all the information on the website. We encourage people to go take a look at that, the initiative. A lot of great information there.
Any final thought, Melanie?
I would just say that this is, we have in Napa County tried to pass several initiatives in the past, and this is our chance to get these across the finish line.
Melanie Parker is the new CEO of the Land Trust of Napa County, and Joe Nordlinger, who's been with us many times here on the Firewise Friday segment, CEO of Napa Firewise. Thanks to you both for being here.
Thanks so much, Barry.
Really important stuff.
Local news, sports, talk, and community connection for the North Bay.
When news breaks or emergencies occur, tune us right in.
The Vine at 99.3 FM.
And to get posted updates on emergency situations, follow us on Facebook.
For podcast and broadcasting schedules, go to our website.
99.3 The Vine is owned and operated locally by Wind Down Media.